Have you tried to learn how to draw without much success? Or maybe you saw some results but you're not progressing as fast as you would like to. In this video, I would like to share with you the learning method that I have developed so that you can learn how to draw quickly without much prior experience. This method is called the Dice learning method. It's an acronym DICE, and I'll tell you what each of the letter means in just a minute. I've used this method myself when I was learning how to draw in my mature years. You can learn my story. I'll pop the video in the cards about how I came to drawing. And I now see thousands of my students successfully apply this method and learn how to draw and how to draw well. And in this video, I'm gonna share it with you. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tatyana Deniz. On this channel, I share tutorials on how to draw kawaii and how to monetize your art using print-on-demand services. For my best tips and tricks, I invite you to subscribe to my channel using the button below. I mentioned to you briefly that I came to drawing in my mature years. I was in my 20s. I always wanted to learn how to draw, but I didn't go to art school when I was a child. I didn't show any special talent. I just kind of went to a regular school, and as I got older and I had a corporate job, and I just kept feeling that I want more from life. I want to do something more creative. And then I remember this day very, very well. I was sitting at a cafe, I was waiting for my coffee, and I really had this feeling of like, I want to take out my sketchbook and draw something really cool. Like, to me, that was the anchoring point. Like, I want to draw something cool while I wait for my coffee. So at the time, I was fascinated with the art of Pick Candle. This was like 2014 perhaps, or 15, when she was just starting out. And I wanted to learn how to draw like her. And in that moment, I remember deciding in that moment in a cafe that I'm gonna learn how to draw. The question was how. I just decided that it's possible for me. I can do this. I've done other difficult things in my life. Why wouldn't I be able to learn how to draw? So the question was why. So I lived with that question for some time until I heard a podcast by Tim Ferriss, and the title was How to Learn Anything Faster. Light bulbs went up. I was like, ding, 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 ding. This is what I want. I want to learn how to draw, and I want to learn how to draw faster. So I listened to it and re-listened, and he talks about this system called DISSS. I rolled with that system, but I made it my own. So the main idea behind the DISSS and the DICE method is that you take a complex skill and you break it down into simple building blocks. Let's dive into what the DICE learning method stands for. And there's a reason why it's called DICE. We have a drawing game. Like, I have developed this drawing game called the Dice, Kawaii Dice, where you combine different elements of kawaii characters. You take individual parts and you combine them together to come up with a new and unique character. So let's look at each step in detail. D stands for Deconstruct. Let's look at this complex kawaii doodle that I have created. There's a lot going on. But if we really look at it in its building blocks, we have some kawaii characters, we have different faces, we have different body shapes, there is some textural elements that are decorations, there are some props, then there are things like composition elements, layout, different ways to combine the characters into their groups, right? Each of these skills is actually an individual skill that can be practiced without overwhelm, without difficulty, and without any stress. Make it fun and easy. So that's D for Deconstruct. This is exactly what I did with the drawings of Pick Candle. I looked at her stuff and I said, okay, what are the building blocks? And I wrote out, I think about 12 or 15 different things. It must have been more at the time, but then I crossed it all out and I left it at 12. I believe it was 12. I've documented my entire journey literally as I was doing week to week to week on my website at tatyanaDeniz.com. you can go have a look and check it out. You know, this is like real life documentation process. So each week I practiced one of the skills. So week 1 or one of the weeks I practiced drawing eyes. Another week I practiced drawing body shapes. A third week or another week I did different hairstyles. And so each of these tasks felt achievable, and I could go a little bit deeper into it. I could look at many different examples and even had enough time to practice each of these skills. And this is where we come to the I of DICE. I stands for integrate. So first we start by breaking down the complex skill or drawing into its building parts, and then we start to integrate each of the building parts into our skill level. I have this image of a toolbox. This is my art toolbox, and I keep putting new skills into my toolbox. Every time I integrate a skill, it becomes part of my toolbox. So I is for integrate. Practice each of these individual blocks separately. And that's it. No stress, no worries. Now we come to the fun part of the C of DICE. C stands for combine. Combine. And this is where the magic and the originality happen. You take the individual blocks that you have practiced and you combine them together to create characters. You can take a body shape, you can take a face, and you can take a piece of decoration. Put them together and you have a new and unique character. And every time you use a different combination, you come up with a different character. So this is at the heart of this Kawaii Dice game that I have created. For example, little monsters, where you combine, you roll the dice to pick a body shape, you roll the dice to pick a face, and you roll the dice to pick a decoration. And at this point, you're not letting your mind, like your critical mind, get in the way and tell you that something is not going to work. That's not how we roll, right? You roll the dice and you let the dice decide. And even if you get this octopus looking ghostly shape for the body, and let's say you get horns or something, and your logical brain is screaming at you saying, there's no way we can give horns to an octopus, you roll with it, you activate your creativity, and something beautiful and magical comes out of it, like this character right here. And you can come up with many variations of characters. Here are a few examples, and I'm sure you could come up with many more. You can download this game using the link below the video, and I'll pop it in the comments as well. So you can download this PDF and give it a try yourself. Play, have fun, experiment. You might surprise yourself with how fun and creative you can actually get with this principle. And only at the very end, when we get to the E of DICE, we get to evaluate. So we've played around, we've combined many different things, we've created many different characters, and this is where you do turn on your critical brain and you start to evaluate what's working and what's not working. What do I want to keep? What do I want to discard? And then you repeat the process. So you deconstruct the building blocks, you integrate the different building blocks into your tool belt, you start to combine. So then you take out all of these different tools you have and you start, have you seen a child play blocks? They tip out the whole bag of blocks on the carpet, and they start to build a little tower, and then it falls apart, and they will grab different blocks and build a different kind of tower. It is absolutely magical to watch children at play. So we need to find our creative children within ourselves, allow ourselves to play and do this combining thing without thinking of the outcome, without judging whether it's good or not. Just build. Okay, and then get to the E and evaluate. DICE, DICE learning method. My hope is that this learning method will unlock new levels of creativity within you. Go ahead, download the printable PDF. The link is below the video. Give it a go and see what you can come up with. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments, how do you feel when you go to create original characters? Does that stress you out, or is that something that comes easily to you? And how do you see this dice method apply to the process, your process of creating original kawaii characters? Stay creative, my friend. I'll see you soon.